In this video, we're going to go over section 1.8 and review the concept of composition of functions. But in particular, we're going to start out with formulas. In other videos, you'll see how to compose functions when you just have the graph or charts. So let's move on to our first example here. Let's say that you're given the function g of x, and its formula is given by x squared plus 2x plus 3. And the goal is going to be to compute this difference, g of x plus h minus g of x. Before we go ahead and start computing things, let's try and identify what two functions are actually getting composed here. So if you look at g of x, that's just the given function, so nothing's happening there. But if you go to g of x plus h, you'll notice that we're taking x plus h and plugging that into g. So what function here is actually getting plugged into g? If you notice, x plus h is actually just a linear function. It's the linear function whose graph is a line of slope 1 and y-intercept h. So what we're really doing here in g of x plus h is composing the linear function with the function g. Okay, so let's go ahead now and start the computation. We're going to do it in two steps. First, let's just write out what g of x plus h is going to be. So what we're going to do here is take x plus h and plug it into g, which is to say, we're going to replace x with x plus h. So here, instead of x squared, we're going to have x plus h squared. Here, instead of 2x, we're going to have 2 times x plus h. And then finally, plus 3. So just writing that all out gives us x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Now distributing the 2, we get 2x plus 2h, and then plus 3. Okay, so now remember we're going to want to take this and subtract g of x from it. So g of x plus h minus g of x is going to be equal to the thing we just wrote, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h plus 3. And now here we have to be careful, minus parentheses x squared plus 2x plus 3. Why did we put the parentheses here? Because remember, g of x isn't just one thing, it's actually a sum of 3 things, x squared, 2x, and 3. So when we subtract that, we need to make sure that that's what we're subtracting. Because there's a minus sign out in front, we're going to have to distribute this. We're going to have minus x squared minus 2x minus 3. And so you see, if the parentheses weren't there, that would have been a big mistake. And in fact, this is a common mistake, to not put the parentheses there and just have minus x squared, then plus 2x plus 3. So just be careful with that. Okay, so now continuing with the computation, we can start canceling out some of these terms. X squared minus x squared, they cancel. Minus 2x and 2x, they cancel. And 3 and minus 3. Those are gone too. So finally, what you're left with is just 2xh plus h squared plus 2h. And that's the answer. Let's do another example really quick. Instead, let's be given two functions and their formulas. Let's say f of x let's make it square root of x plus 2. And then g of x. Well, actually, let's say h of x. And make that x squared plus 6. 4. Okay, let's do 4. So, let's do f composed with h. Remember, what does that mean? That means take x, plug it into h first, then take the result of that, which is just h of x, and plug that in to f. So, we're going to take x, plug it into h, so that's x squared plus 4, but now we're going to take that and plug it into f. So, f says, take what you plugged in, add 2, then take the square root of that. And you see, if you just write that all out, that's just x squared plus 6. And that's the answer. Notice the square roots didn't distribute. That's just not a property of the square root or exponents in general. But it is a common mistake, so just beware of that. This is the final answer. Now let's instead do h of f and reverse the order in which we compose them. Let's see what we get. Remember, this notation, h circle f, means take x, put it into f first, take the result of what you get from that, and then plug that into h. And so we're going to take x, plug it into f of x, that's just square root of x plus 2. But when we plug it into h, we're going to have to take that, square it, and then add 4. Okay? The square of a square root is simply the thing you took the square root of, which in this case is x plus 2, and then you add 4. And so finally the answer is x plus 6. And that's it. Notice these two are different, and so in general,